Okay, well, let's do this thing here. You see this t-shirt? It says, if you can read this, thank the Phoenicians. Well, I don't quite take it that way because this is all part of the fucking us around bit. I'm going to show you this, and I'll show you why I made you read that book. If you can read this, thank the Phoenicians. Well, we speak English, and our words are put together phonetically, right? Supposedly, that's what they're saying. They're put together phonetically, and so that's where we get the word phone, as in telephone, and we all know what a telephone does. It has a bell and it rings. So all that's tied together in a nice little bundle. So it says, if you can read this, thank the Phoenicians. But see, what most people, and I'm sure that you're making the same mistake right now. Hang on. So, if you can read this, thank the Phoenicians. But what do they really have you reading? Well, we'll get back to that in a minute. So here's the word Phoenician. And it occurred to me when I was looking at the word and I was looking at something else. Another word of another group. See, the Phoenicians are the ones who did what? They set up the banking system. They taught women how to wear makeup. They taught men how to make weapons. They mapped the globe. They pretty much enslaved it with whatever the fuck it is that they've done to us. Yeah? Who else did the exact same thing in about the exact same story? Who is it? And it was in the book if you read it. And that was this guy. Enoch. And so if we look at this and we change the sound one bit, you will get this. Foe-necians. Do you see what they did? Do you understand what they did? They substituted the I and the O and put an H in. It's Foe-necian. Because the fallen angels, the one that Enoch, the real Enoch, is affiliated with, is a Foe-necian. What is the word? So we know it's Enoch. He's one of the Enochs, right? But what is a foe? Well, we know that a foe is an enemy. Yes? We know the foe is an enemy, but I don't think that's what that means here, because you have to go into their language, or at least what they've given us to deal with, and find out what a foe is. And I'm going to show you right now. So before we do that, we know that the fallen angels and the Phoenicians have the exact same story about going around the globe teaching men how to set up the banking system, how to make weapons, how to make women sexy, and then enslave this place. Funny that they have the exact same story, but let's find out what a foe is. So, here's the word foe down here. So that you see it, it's down here. The only Hebrew term for large cattle that can be traced to the deepest level, one single beast. And we know what the beast is, don't we? And this is the name of the single beast, foe. And so if we take the word foe and we put it down here, and we put Enoch, we got Foe-Enoch. If we sound it out, the whole thing, it's Foe-Enochian. But what's the Enochian? What is the Enochian? The Enochian is the Anunnakian. The Anu world order. Are you following me? Are you getting this? But hang on, let me just bring something else up first. If we look here Enochian. Enochian is a name often applied to occultic or angelic language recorded in private journals of John Dee and his colleagues. The writing system Enochian script. Here's the nail in the coffin. ISO 6393. The odds of these numbers coming up, based off of what I read off of this t-shirt, which is still not where I'm going, is phenomenal. The fact that this leads to one beast, which is the beast system, which is what they're of, with this angelic language and writing. The word Foe-Enochian is really the Foe-necians. They're one and the same. And who speaks ancient Phoenician? The Jews. There is no Hebrew language. They speak ancient Phoenician. And the star of Saturn, the six-pointed star, is on their flag. So in essence, this is really about you-know-who. It's really about them. But this isn't the end of the story. Oh no. Oh no. No, no, no. This gets better. If you can read this, thank the Foe-necians, the Foe-Enochians, because what you're reading is this. If you can read this, do you see that? Do you understand what this is? Well, I'm about to make it clear to you. Inside baseball. The phrase inside baseball. What's being discussed and the nuances are not understood or appreciated by outsiders. Let me get a little bit better picture. Do you understand what this is? You see this? You see the four corners here that are holding this up? Do you understand it? You see the cube here? You see this? You know this. You know these colors. We know what this is associated with. Do you understand? Inside base. These four corners are the base. Inside baseball. Do you understand? Inside baseball. This is baseball. I'm not done. I'm not done. When we look at inside baseball, what does it say? We've just begun to dream. And that sounds very familiar to Elysium Fields. Oh no, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. This is very interesting where this is going. We know that they lied to us about the name. We know that they created a group using two different groups to disguise a single group, which is the fucking problem on this fucking planet or in this dream state that we're in, because we know who it is. You know, the ones with the six-pointed star, right? Because it's inside baseball. It's inside baseball. Wait, I'm not done yet. Epcot Spaceship Earth Dark Ride. Spaceship Earth Dark Ride. Thank you, Phoenicians. Interesting. Spaceship Earth, Epcot, Disney, Dark ride 11-11-11. I think we should highlight that because I think it's very important that we make this the fucking headline. Don't you think? Do you think that's important? I do. Well, I'm not done. I'm not done presenting my case, children. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. They showed this later, and they said this was considered to be the real Epcot. And here's the magic wand. Oh, very interesting. So they were going to use a cube, but they used a ball instead. But it really doesn't make a difference because they're both kind of the same thing. They're opposites, yet they're equal. A circle has 360 degrees. You know that? Do you know what a square? How many degrees a square has? It has 360 degrees because it has 4 90-degree corners. So even though they're complete opposites, they're exactly the same. But let's just take a look at something else here that gave me a slight glimpse as to what's going on. So let's watch here. Do you remember this movie I showed you guys months back called Escape from Tomorrowland? Watch.
Sarah? 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 What? Yeah? What are you doing? Your father took you here as a child. Am I correct? Huh? That must have been right around the time this park opened. Interesting. Where am I? Where's Sarah? Consider yourself very fortunate, Mr. White. No outsider has ever been where you are. That makes you the first. The first? Yes. And right now you're under the ride spaceship to Earth. Recall Base 21. I'm still at it.
You're underneath Spaceship Earth, also known as Base 21, which is 3.
God, but where else? Oh, I must apologize for those. But you see, I have no idea what sort of condition you'll be in. It's been so long. Who are you? Consider me a friend. You work for King? No. And fortunately for you, they're unaware of my existence. Unless, of course, the French take, oh, they are the mode changers. You see, I am a servant of the Siemens Corporation. What? Siemens. The enterprise which sponsors this attraction.
There it is. Spaceship Earth.
Computer, begin the scan. You've got quite an imagination. Just like old WD himself. He died while all this was still in its early stages. But the real purpose remains unfinished. You're inside my head! You had, Jim, your imagination. But we don't want to control it, as they do. It's simply minor things.
We don't want to control it, but they do. Who's they? Well, I would imagine it's the very people that we're talking about.
So we can know where they're up to and get that. That's you. What? Only that's the real you. And part of your imagination you never sought to use. Turn it off, please. Please, you're right. Didn't your boss relay the message when you spoke to him? My boss? What are you talking about?
Basically, that person that he saw is the one that checks back in at the end of the movie. Right? Because he dies. That's him being loaded in there. So he died. Big white Masonic glove.
That we are.
That being him, being the real person that he never knew that he was, even though he just died, he's coming right back into Disneyland, which is what? Remember what Disneyland represents? Now see, that guy realizes that that body that's leaving is really the guy that's coming back in.
Allow me to help you with your work. Thank you.
Because the guy is dead, now he's really the real person he was, not that body that he thought he was. That guy at the gate door that goes into Disneyland, which we know what that is, right? He knows what's going on. That's why I said, here, let me help you with your luggage. Because he's a returning customer. The reason they show that hotel like that at the very end, and I'm pretty sure what that's in reference to. It says, my father's house or my father's mansion has many rooms. If you look here very closely, you see the T? You see how this conveniently makes the 33? So I think the message of that is clear on what's going on there and here. And all of this stuff here. I think that I put it together well enough that you can understand it, I hope. The Jews like to put words into the street, like when they got the black people to walk around going, I'm an OG. Remember that? An OG? An OG was Og. Og was one of the Nephilim. Or, as they put it, the original gangsters. But it's a Hebrew word for the Nephilim. Here, that got the blacks to walk around going, Foe sure. Foe being the beast. Which I'm assuming is inside baseball. Inside baseball. Do you understand? Can you grasp what I'm trying to get at here? If you don't, it's okay. The odds of all of this shit lining up, because, and it's got nothing to do with me patting myself on the back. I'm just telling you, I phonetically, using their shit, by the way, phonetically sounded it out, and I said, it's Foe-necian. It's Foe-necian. The reason that I made you read about Enoch is so that you would know, if you knew anything about the Phoenicians, it's the same group. They just changed it. The Phoenicians went around the world and set everything up. Enoch was involved with setting up the same thing. They taught women how to adorn themselves. They taught men how to make weapons. It's the same group. And who claims the rights to all this stuff? The very people that fly the flag of Enoch and the Phoenicians, which are the same, are good friends, and they're not the Chinese. They're the ones in the Middle East that run this place. And here's a convenient picture of Enoch, I think, that will clarify what all that's about. Here's a picture that somebody drew of Enoch. How very interesting. But you know what I find most interesting of all? Is that he's got this same hand symbol that my sister seems to have now after I saw her picture that my other sister sent me. How very interesting is all of that stuff. Isn't it amazing that if you just do a little work, how everything just seems to fall together? I'm not going to go on any farther with this video. Hopefully you've got the gist of it. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them to me or whatever. I made you read the Enoch thing so that you understand there is no good Enoch. It's just this dude. It's this group. It's the same story it always was. The bad guys trying to make themselves look like they're the good guys. I wonder where that guy gets his nails done. They're impeccable. You know, it's kind of depressing. Kind of depressing. But, you know, for all of this stuff to fall together like this, you know, this bit here is what takes us back to our original picture. If you can read this, thank the Phoenicians, because it's occult language and it's inside baseball. This time I think Twink does know. There you go. You can thank the Phoenicians or the Foe-necians, because that's who it really is. The same fuckers it's always been. Thank you, David Icke. Thank you, Jordan Maxwell. Thank you, Truth Movement. Thank you, Tex Mars. Thank you, Operation Camelot. Thank you all so much for helping us out. You really have lent a major fucking hand. Fucking jerk-offs.